Welcome back guys to another Android tutorial. Today we'll be talking about how to create a ViewPager with a tab layout by creating a simple application. So let's take a look. We'll have a tab layout with 3 items and 3 fragments. And when clicking on one of the tabs, you can see that we're switching between the fragments. We can also swipe right or swipe left to switch between the fragments. Pretty simple. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing we'll have to do is go into our activity main layout and create 2 views. The first one will be the tab layout. Let's give it an ID of tab items, and let's give it constraints because I'm using constraint layout as our view group. So top to top, end to end, start to start. Now the second view we'll have to create is our view pager. Let's give it an ID of fragments pager, and let's also provide it with some constraints. So top to bottom of the tab items, end to end of the parent, start to start of the parent, and bottom to bottom of the parent. Now just for the tab layout, let's also give it a constraint for the bottom to the top of the fragments pager. That's it for our activity main layout. The second thing we'll have to do is go back to our main activity and create 2 references for the tab layout and the view pager. So for the tab layout, let's call it tab items, find view by ID, r.id, tab items. The second reference will be to the view pager. We call it fragments pager, find view by ID, fragments pager. Now we'll have to create an adapter for our fragment pager. So let's do it. We'll go into our package and create a class pager adapter that extends the fragment pager adapter class. Let's implement the 2 required methods and override the constructor. Now, as you can see, we have 2 methods here. The getItem method is responsible for switching and managing the transitions between the fragments. As you can see, the return value of this method is a fragment, and the given parameter is an integer, which is the position of the current displayed fragment. So what we'll have to do in this method is, based on the position, decide which fragment we'll want to return, and based on that, the fragment will be displayed to the user. The second method, the getCount method that returns an integer, is responsible for telling how many fragments would we like to display. So let's create a constant for this class. Let's make it a private constant. Let's call it number of sliders, which is equal to 3. And let's place it as the return value for the getCount method. That's it for now. Let's go back to our main activity class and provide a new instance of the pager adapter class. And for the constructor, let's provide it with the getSupportFragmentManager method that returns a fragment manager instance. Now what we'll have to do is set up our tab layout with the view pager that we created. Okay? That's it for now. So let's go back to the pager adapter class. As you can see, we decided that we want to display 3 fragments, but we haven't created them yet. So let's do it. The first fragment we'll create is the home fragment, and it will extend the fragment class. We will implement only one method, which is the onCreateView. Let's return a view. Get activity. .inflate r.layout dot fragment home container and false. As you can see, I'm getting a compilation error because I haven't created the fragment home layout yet. We'll do it later. The second fragment we'll create will be the post fragment, which will also extend the fragment class. Let's just copy the method we created here to the post fragment and change the layout name to fragment post. And the third and last fragment we'll create will be search fragment, and it will extend the fragment class. Let's also paste the method here and change the layout name to fragment search. Okay, now that we created all the fragments that we wanted, let's create the layouts for them. So let's create the layout for the fragment search. Let's create the layout for the fragment post. And let's create the layout for the home fragment. That's it. So now what we do is place a text view in the center of each fragment that will indicate to the user in which fragment is currently at, and will provide a different background color for each fragment. So let's do it. For the fragment home layout, let's provide a background of red. For the fragment post, let's provide a background of green. And for the fragment search layout, let's provide a background of blue. Now for each one of them, we will place a text view in the center to indicate to the user in which fragment is currently at. Text, this is the fragment search layout, so search. Let's copy it and paste it to the fragment post layout. Let's just change it to post. And for the home fragment, let's just change it to home. Now we'll go back to the pager adapter class, and based on the position, we'll decide which fragment we would like to display. In our getItemCount, we will use the position in switch case method to figure out what is the position value. So in cases where it's 0, we would like to return a new home fragment. In cases where it's 1, we would like to return a new post fragment. And in cases where it's 2, we would like to return a new search fragment. Now, the default, in case something went wrong, will be return null. So that's it for the pager adapter class. Let's go back to our main activity. In our main activity, the only thing that is left for us to do is to set an icon for each one of the tabs. By default, currently, right now, nothing will get displayed in each of the tabs. There is 2 ways to populate the tabs. The first one is by implementing let's go back to our pager adapter class, by implementing the get page title. As you can see, we are getting a position, and the return value is a char sequence. So what we can do, similar to the getItem method, is based on the position, decide which title we want to display. But for our use case, what we would like to do is display an icon in each one of the tabs. So what we'll do is go into our drawable directory, into our vector assets, and get 3 icons for each of the fragments. So the first one will be for our home fragment. So let's search for a home icon. The second icon will be for our post fragment. So let's search for an icon that indicates a post, such as this one. And the third and last one will be for the search fragment. So let's search for an icon that indicates a search. Search. That's it. So now what we will do is create an array of integers which represents the references to the drawables that we created. The first one will be for the home. The second one will be for the post. And the third one will be for the search. That's it. So now what we will do, the way we will populate the tab layout is we'll loop through all of the tabs count that should be equal to the value we returned in the getCount method in our pager adapter class. So we'll create an instance of a tab based on the current index. We'll check that it is not null just for being safe, and in cases where it's not null, we'll set an icon based on the current position. So let's run our application and see what happens. Okay, as you can see, we are seeing the ViewPager and the tab layout at the top. Currently, the home fragment is being displayed because the item of the home is currently selected. So let's select our search tab. As you can see, we have switched to the search fragment. Let's select the post, home, search again, post. Once we are clicking one of the tabs, we are switching accordingly based on what we decided to a specific fragment. We can also slide left or right. As you can see, it all works. Thank you guys for watching. Please leave a big like and a comment if you like the video. Please subscribe for more awesome content, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy.